Could Jarrad Branthwaite be making a massive move to Manchester United this summer? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, today's video is going to centre around this man right here, Jarrad Branthwaite of Everton. The 21-year-old centre-back has made a big breakout season this past campaign. So much so that speculation has begun to snowball and gather momentum about his future and where his footballing future may lie instantly, with Manchester United being heavily linked with signing the centre-back. And obviously when you consider that Manchester United's centre-back options are dwindling a little bit and are not at their full potential and strongest, Branthwaite, with his potential and his promise, may fit the bill as to a defender that Manchester United are looking to bring in to Old Trafford this summer. Lots probably going to go on at Manchester United in this transfer window, as obviously the new kind of outlook on Manchester United takes shape, and Branthwaite could obviously be a massive part of what could be a huge summer of transfer activity for Manchester United. But is he worth it? Is he worth the price tag that's being talked about? Well, that's what we're going to try and find out in this video. That we're going to be talking about in this video. We're going to be talking about Branthwaite. We're going to be talking about Manchester United and everything else in between. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it in regards to this story down below. I'm sure you'll have a lot of things that will make for an interesting and great reading. So please do use and abuse that comment section at your will. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Jarrad Branthwaite and a potential move to Manchester United. So what do we know about Jarrad Branthwaite? Well, previously he was on loan at PSV. He did very well at PSG a couple of seasons ago, and obviously he's then made his return to Everton and has slowly been climbing through to where this past campaign has been a real big breakout season for the 21-year-old centre-back. He made 35 appearances in the Premier League this season. He was part of an Everton side that kept the 4th best defensive record in the Premier League, which is saying a lot considering obviously where Everton finished in the campaign. And like I say, he has got a lot of promise and a lot of potential to his name. So much so that Manchester United aren't the only ones that are seemingly interested in his signature. You've got a lot of others that are seemingly buzzing around out there that are seemingly monitoring this situation and keeping Branthwaite on their radar. But it is Manchester United that have been strongly linked and are seemingly in a good position to obviously negotiate a deal going forward. The story so far is that United have been tracking him for a while. The story so far is that he's been linked with Manchester United for a while. And reportedly, United did put in a first bid very recently. Allegedly, it was reported to be in the region of £35 million. Everton have been have set an asking price of £80 million. And then reports in the past 24 hours or so have reported that a second bid's gone in from United, somewhere in the region of £45 million, no more than £50 million. But Everton have seemingly changed their stance a little bit on the asking price, seemingly and reportedly dropping it from 80 million down to 70 million. So it does seem like negotiations are very much taking place and are very much angling towards a deal. It does seem very likely that a deal will be struck between the two clubs. Personal terms, you would imagine, well, allegedly have already been agreed between the player and the club. That was always going to be no issue whatsoever, considering, you know, with all due respect, it is an Everton player going to Manchester United. It's a 21-year-old centre-back going to Manchester United. So you would imagine, like, personal terms would be no issue anyway. But everything seems to be angling towards a deal. The only thing that they're waiting on is seemingly a deal to be struck between the two clubs. And let's face it, given Everton's financial position, given the fact that they need to kind of sell, given the fact that they've had money issues this past year alone, and given the way that obviously it's the pull of Manchester United, even though they've not been the same Manchester United as what I was like, as what I saw growing up, And obviously, for the past decade or so, they've obviously not been the same Manchester United of the noughties and 90s. They still have that Manchester United aura. They still have that Manchester United pull. And Braithwaite, in my opinion, would jump at the chance to play for Manchester United. They'll be playing Europa League football next year. They're under massive redevelopment, not just on the pitch, but also off the pitch as well, behind the scenes. There's a lot of change at Manchester United. They're making all the right noises and all the right sounds that they're finally playing catch-up to the likes of your Liverpools, your Arsenals, your Manchester Cities that have obviously been so successful to a large degree over the course of the past decade, whilst United have fallen off. That United, if they do follow through on those promises that the new takeover and the new kind of and new people are bringing into the club, they could be challenging once again for the top honours, not just within domestic football, but within European football as well. So Braithwaite could be a massive, massive part of this redevelopment at Manchester United and this overall arching big picture and long-term project that United have. And especially with him being 21 years of age, let's face it, he's going to be someone who is ready for the present day and is also going to be for the future as well. And when you look at the current squad of Manchester United, that area is in desperate need of beefing up. Rafael Varane is gone. Johnny Evans, they're allegedly negotiating another year extension for Johnny Evans, but to rely on him so much as what they did last season would be asking, in my opinion, a bit too much. He's 36 years of age? He wasn't expected to play as much as what he did last campaign, but yet he still managed to play a hell of a lot and was actually one of their better and more consistent performing players across the season for Manchester United, which says a lot about the current state of the United defence. But he's not going to be expected to play as many games as what he did last season. You've also then got injury concerns to the likes of Lisandro Martinez. Fantastic player on his day, but the injury concerns are there for all to see. Now, whether they're freak accidents or whether it was just poor man management by himself, by doctors, by the manager, whoever it was, it's still quite concerning. It's still quite concerning that obviously those injury issues are still question marks above Martinez's head. And then, of course, where does that leave you? Well, that leaves you with Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, and youngster Willy Cambuala. Maguire, we know, is not necessarily good enough. He can do a job, yes, but it's a very specific job that I don't think for the long-term future of Manchester United is feasible. It's feasible for him to be playing a big role in that squad. You've then got Lindelof, who is used as a versatility player across that back four. And then you've got Cambuala, who made a couple of good appearances this past campaign when he was needed, but obviously is still very young, very inexperienced, and still rough around the edges. I'm not saying Braithwaite isn't, but of course, if he's a youngster that Ten Hag rates highly and is looking to include more and more at the senior level, he's going to obviously need to have the pressure taken off him by some more senior level defenders. And whilst Braithwaite isn't exactly senior level in terms of age, his experience playing for the likes of PSV in the past and of course Everton this past season may just have him be a step ahead of the youngster Cambuala there. So what exactly are United potentially going to get with Braithwaite? Well, they're going to get a 6'5" absolute unit of a defender, physically strong, aerial threat, of course, left-footed, so it does provide good balance on that left-hand side, but also, who's to say that he's not going to play the right side of centre-back? You know, we have two right-footed centre-backs from time to time at a lot of clubs, including my own of Liverpool, of course, in which we normally play like a Joel Matip or an Ibrahim Konate at right centre-back, and then, of course, Van Dijk at left centre-back. So why not have two left-sided centre-backs, left-footed centre-backs in the centre-back positions? Not completely crazy or out of the blue, but it, of course, could work if Martinez does stay fit. You could play both Braithwaite and Martinez, and if memory does serve me correctly, I do remember recalling researching that I think Braithwaite played a lot of his games at PSV on the right side of a centre-back pairing. So I could be wrong on that, but I do remember doing a little bit of research into that, and I think it was shown that he was on more predominantly on the right side. So it's not out of the realms of question. There could also be other factors. Maybe Ten Hag looking to go to a back three. You never know. But either way, a left-footed centre-back is not to be sniffed at either. And of course, the main bulk as to why this guy has been gaining a lot of notoriety and a lot of, obviously, attention this past season is his main characteristic of being able to play with the ball out from the back. For a 6'5" defender, you normally kind of think about a player of that height not being good with the ball at his feet. He's pretty decent with the ball at his feet. And that's exactly what United are looking for. They're looking to try and bring in these kinds of players that are able to bring the ball out from the back and play from back to front in that kind of style. Braithwaite, in my opinion, ticks that criteria, ticks that specification. And of course, like I say, for a 21-year-old centre-back, he's got a lot of potential and promise on his side. He's got a lot of time on his hands as well. With experience and age, he will get better and better and better. And not only that, but let's just say that it is going to be a massive fee, which it already is looking like it's going to be a massive fee. 50 to 60 million, I reckon, would be around about where I would think a deal would be struck here, in my personal opinion. He'll have resale value. So in a couple of years' time, if it doesn't quite work out, he'll still be at a good enough level, still have enough good experience in which you can probably get a large chunk of that money back. Maybe even the same price, maybe even make a little bit of profit on whatever you're going to buy for him. So business-wise and footballing-wise, this does make a lot of sense for Manchester United going forward. In my personal opinion, I think a deal will be struck here. Of course, I don't care for Braithwaite being an Everton player, and I don't really care for Manchester United being a rival. But if I am to look at this neutrally and objectively as possible, as I always try to do whenever I talk about rival videos, I understand where the promise of Braithwaite comes from. I understand where his potential lies. And I think at Manchester United, it could flourish. And people will laugh at that and say, well, look at how the previous mistakes of Manchester United. I'm looking at what the sounds are being made as of right now, and I'm looking at the way that United are going about their business and changing their whole kind of setup off the pitch. I'm looking at the way that they're setting up in terms of that angle. Do I think that Ten Hag is necessarily the right manager? Not necessarily, but at the same time, the manager could very well change and Braithwaite could still be there and could still find those levels that obviously are promised of him. I think they're getting a very good deal from this. I would expect, given Everton's financial position, Man United's pull, the money that's being talked about, that a deal will eventually be struck between these two. Personal terms, like I say, should already be agreed. And then it's all about passing the medical, which very, very rarely goes wrong for any player. Very, very rarely. But I think there will be a deal struck here, and I think it will be a good move for Manchester United, not only just to beef up the centre-back position, but to just beef up the squad in general. The defence probably still will need looking at, even after Braithwaite. I still think there is room for improvement there. And then, of course, we'll wait and see what happens with the rest of the Manchester United squad. But it's all positive and good signs from United anyway. The talk about what's going on behind the scenes in terms of recruitment side of things, in terms of obviously bringing in footballing people behind the scenes that are going to make the big footballing decisions, that's all seemingly positive and that all sounds decent for United. And then bringing in these types of players who, yes, he's still a little rough around the edges. Yes, he's still a little bit unproven. Yes, it could just be a one-season kind of thing for Braithwaite, but the promise, the potential that's laid out, and the strengths of this character very much does point in a very positive direction, and it is someone that United are definitely looking at bringing in because of those strengths and attributes that, of course, Braithwaite does possess. So Branthwaite. If I've said Braithwaite, I do apologize. It's Branthwaite. I keep saying Braithwaite, and I don't know why. So if I do say Braithwaite, I do apologize. It's Jarrad Branthwaite. And of course, he is obviously breaking into the England side going forward. Maybe a little bit unlucky in some people's eyes that he didn't make it into the Euro squad, but overall, very much interesting to see where the future does lie for Jarrad Branthwaite. Yeah, in my opinion, I think a deal will be struck here, but I want to know what you guys think. These are, of course, just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make about the future of Jarrad Branthwaite? Do you think he'll go to Manchester United? Do you think there's another club waiting in the wings to pounce on this deal? Or do you think he may actually stay on at Everton? Let me know what you guys think and feel on this particular story. Let me know what you think and feel. Your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it on this potential transfer story will make for great and interesting reading down below in the comments section. So let me know what you guys think and feel down there. Use and abuse that comment section at your will. Also, thanks everyone for watching and listening. Hit the like button on the way up if you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you're new. All of that good stuff will be very much appreciated. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.